Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Victoria. Happy birthday to you.
Hip hip.
Hooray!
Hip hip.
Hooray!
Hip hip.
Hooray!
Yeah.
Oh, right, welcome to Jamie's new improved magic show. Here's my first magic trick. He's watching.
Yes.
Short wand, magic trick.
Ooh.
Wonderful.
Now for my next trick. I'm going to make this wand disappear. You can see big hole.
Wow.
Look at Tippy's rapt watching.
Now as you can see the box is empty, nothing in it.
Oh, nothing in it, Tippy, no.
Nothing in it. Okay, you ready? Magic rabbit.
Here's Alan. Irene's still positive.
Now for my final trick. Bag empty, empty bag, nothing there, empty bag.
Hooray!
Empty bag, nothing in it.
Hooray! Bravo!
Very good.
Thank you. Stop now.
I pressed it again.
Press it harder.
How did it harder?
Hold it down for a minute.
Close it down for a minute.
Hold it down.
Start with the story about when you thought you saw Mum in your room.
Look. It's no.
Why not?
Go on, so they're filming it, they're wanting to...
Samantha's
Ah,
starting to hear all her stories.
You shouldn't have told me that. That's even
No,
worse.
record it, no film, just
Eh?
record.
Yeah.
Record it.
Record it.
Don't worry about it. Just tell us the story. Samantha's dying to hear.
Ah,
She's
can't
heard it
remember.
before.
No, she's never heard the story because I told her the stories you told me and she never heard them.
She's up.
I know, she's fine.
She's wanting to keep. Right, one night I was in my bed. And I woke up. Well, I thought I woke up anyway. And that ottoman there was at the side of my bed. And when I looked, I saw a figure sitting on it. And I did. And it was sitting kind of like that. And I thought it was, well, I did think it was my mother at the beginning, I think, didn't I? I thought it was what, yeah, but you came in.
Yeah.
But at first I thought it was my mother because my mother hadn't long died, eh? And I thought, oh, she's watching me. And anyway, I'm trying to think. And well, anyway, it was sitting, and then it was as though when I woke up, it moved, and then it went, and then I thought it was you. I said, oh, that's her. She's only about what is she? 9. But she had a white thing on, and I thought she's got out of bed and she's got the candlewick, red candlewick covers round her, and she was walking. Well, she got up and she was walking, and I says, oh, she's gone back to her bed, and the door was there, so she was walking towards the door like that, but she didn't go out the door. She went right through the wall, and it went like that with a mist, and then I seen the fog. And then all of a sudden it was clear, I could see the wall, and I was lying saying to myself, what was that now? because it was perfectly real. You couldn't make this up, actually. It was perfectly real, Kim. Because I didn't think it could be my ma. although I think it was. But you were the one that I thought, oh, she's just off. She's walking. But I couldn't see anybody's face really clear. You can't see their faces, but I thought you had the candle wicks cover round you, although mind you, you'd been tripping all over it if it was that, because it's big, Ken. But anyway, that's what I thought. I'm not eating. End of part 1. Isn't there more, is there?
Yeah.
You've got hundreds.
I like the one.
Oh, right, let's
Well, there's two. There's the one where you not in hospital and you felt the whoosh over your head.
I did.
That's a good
I
one.
did.
We'll tell
That's
that
a good one. I had just had Lorraine, I think. Aye. 'Cause- And I was lying in my bed right enough, so that's right, Hen. In the hospital, in Simpson's maternity hospital.
Uh-huh.
And then you're right, it was like lightning, and it seemed to go, there was windows there over to the meadows, Kim, and it was like it banged, and it's just kind of, it was like, I don't know what it was like, but there was something happened, whatever it was. And was that the morning your father came in and told me my granny had died?
Yeah.
Aye. The nurse came and says your husband's in I think he was in the waiting room or something. Didn't know what to come to the ward to tell me. And my granny had died. And it's a funny thing, when George Ward died, our Nan saw the same thing.
Sure.
Nan says, she brought his bed down the stairs, and she says, she'd sorted out his oxygen tank and that. And she says, I was exhausted during, she looked after well after him. And she says, she should have been in her bed, but she wasn't, she was sitting beside him, he was lying. And so she says, I was just sitting, she says, I fell asleep, she says, I was exhausted, fell asleep. She says, but all of a sudden I woke, she says, because something, I don't know what happened, but something passed me by and passed my back, came on my lap. And she looked, George was dead. And the dog, Bonnie, George always took Bonnie, it was a big lassie dog. It's called Bonnie, it's a big dog. And George always took Bonnie out, but when George had his illness, Bonnie didn't, when you go near him, she always stayed over there. And she says, and Bonnie always went up the stairs with George and slept on the mat beside him. But when he was brought down the stair, she went over there, but she says she wouldn't come near George. She says, and the funny thing was, when George, I looked at him and he was dead, Bonnie got up and come over and put her head on him. Isn't that, the dog must have sense.
Yeah.
You think, Ken, dogs are dumb animals, but do you remember when Jack died, what did she do?
Jumped on the table.
She sat on that table. She's
Aye.
never in her life, never done it again. And she was sitting on that table, quiet
looking
like
around.
that. And we were blathering away, we never really noticed. And then when I looked at her, I says, look at her, I says, Ken, this. I says, she's sitting looking at the chair, wasn't she? It was like, he's missing, he's not there, Ken. And she never done it again. That was only the one time she sat on the table like that. And she sat for a long time, like, just like, looking. And I says, look how, she was sad looking. Hey, you missed him. Because you used to sitting. How is she keeping?
Ah, she's a bit better.
And someone was in the hospital and then they were in the bed for ages and then got up and looked at the window and said, I'm coming.
Was that my ma?
Yeah.
Aye, my mother in the city hospital. Aye, that's right. Well, I had stayed with her till about 10:30, and she was, they were wee, and they were in the house themselves. I knew my mother was ill, well, she was dying, and so I was up in the city, was away up, came with the city is away up in Morningside, away up that way, and my mum was unconscious anyway, she had cancer, 59, anyway, so I had to come away. Nan and May and that was there, and brothers and sisters. And I says, I'll need to get away, Ken. I said, left the bearing skin myself. I've got the bus home. But Nan said that, she says, my mother, and she was unconscious, she wasn't talking to anybody, Ken. Nan says, she sat up all of a sudden and she says, I'm coming, Ma, I'm coming, like that. Nan says, and she's saying that as much as she said, go out the road to Ken, and there was nobody there, Ken. I'm coming. And it's strange, what
Yeah.
we must see it then, maybe she did see her, Ken, my granny, like that would be my ma's mum, Ken.
Then she laid back down and died.
Eh?
She laid back down and died.
What?
She laid back down and died.
Aye. That's right, then she did.
Mm.
Because I had to go to my work at 5 o'clock in the morning and I phoned them. Well, she hadn't died when I was there, Ken, but I knew she was going. So it's sad. She was only 59. She'd been to America and all over, Ken. She'd had a good time in the States, you know, the film stars' houses and sent. I saw that. I still got all the cards that she sent me. For Tyrone Power's grave in the Malcolm. Is at the end of it. It used to be on top of the telly.
Yeah.
I've still got it in that drawer. And it used to be, but you see, you kind of put it on top of the other telly, had a wee, you know, it was broader, and you could put a wee thing on. And I used to have my ma was on one side and I was on the other. It's in there. It's like that wee brass one, Kim. It was always up there, and it was always straight. And then sometimes you looked at it, it was turned back to front, and nobody had touched it. It didn't. It used to. Honest. And sometimes I would be sitting here, and I would see it turning. And what, it was a Sunday, I was sitting here watching the telly, and I wasn't paying attention. And you know this? It jumped off top of the television and fell down there. And I says, if that jumps back up again, I'm out of here. I was waiting and it jumping back up again. I went, oh Christ, I'm out of here if that jumps back up again. But when I picked it up, it was kind of broken a bit, but nobody touched it, and it just went down with a bang. Sorry, I thought you were deaf. I thought you were deaf. You've been good. How are you feeling? Much better. Are you feeling a lot better? No such now. You know such. You've been a better girl, eh? She's not asked for a apology.
Okay.
That's another thing. She was barking an awful lot all the time. Eh? She's not been barking much today.
Oh
just-
wait, can you not finish the story?
You'll finish that.
There you go. That's it. That's all it's any more you can think of. She's
No, you weren't finished with that one. I mean, you stuck it down with blue tack, then you went to the clairvoyant.
I stuck it down blue tack when the day with it,
Well, mine, Lorraine says stick it with blue tack.
and it still moved.
No, remember you went to the clairvoyant.
Oh yeah.
You went to the clairvoyant.
And what they told you about you not cleaning.
You didn't dust it properly.
That's right. Just reminded me. We used to go to her at the West End. It was a college, Ken, and this clairvoyant was there, and she used to pick out people. And it's funny, she used to pick out me more or less. And she said that was one of the things she said. She says,
I see you side by side.
eh?
I see you side by side with your mother.
Did
Something like
she?
that.
I forget now, but I remember
Aye.
that. Was I beside my ma, and she says, that you dusting
You're
the.
not dusting it right.
She says, oh, was it my mother that said that?
Aye.
Aye, you're not dusting it right. Because I used to lift it and dust it and put it down, but I stuck it with blue tack, I couldn't, so I just used to dust round it. And that's what she said, you're not dusting it right. So, I mean, how would she ken that?
Oh, that was
And then she also says to me, well, she told me what she says, your mother died with stomach cancer. I mean, how would she ken that?
Yeah.
And then she says, she's giving me your name. Is it a D? I says, yeah. She went, is it I thought she was going to say, is it Doris? She says, is it Doreen? I says, aye. And my ma was the only person that ever called me Doreen. Everybody calls me Doreen. She was the only person that always called me Doreen. Okay? And that's what she says. Is it Doreen? And sorry. I thought, Ken, it's amazing how they.
Yeah.
I used to go there quite a lot. I forget half of what she used to tell me now.
There was something about Grandad's slippers. Remember
Eh?
that? You were going to chuck out Grandad's slippers and you had them by the door, ready to go. And she mentioned something.
Can't hear you right.
She said something about Grandad's slippers because you were going to get rid of them and they were at the door.
And what happened?
I don't know.
I can't remember, but she said something about the slippers.
I've still got them.
She must have said no to chuck them out then.
They were lying, well, they were still lying there. He was fine the night before. I was sitting watching the telly, but his slippers and his socks were in them. And I've still got the socks. Mine, she says,
She likes
There's
it.
two- did she say something like, there's two Johns here, there's two Jays here.
Oh no.
She says, and he's sitting on the stage here laughing at, I don't know, I can't mind, I wrote stuff down. But mine, she told one of the women, another person, like, she said her brother had an accident. And I mean, how would she know this? She says, he fell into one of the mills that I've got in the grain.
Oh.
She says, and the woman says yes. She says, well, he fell in, he couldn't get out. He went, it's like quicksand.
Mm-hmm.
She says,
Oh, that's horrible.
oh, it was terrible. I mean, the fella must have knew that, and he must have lost his breath. That was a terrible thing to say. But that's what. But how would she know that?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, these people that go, it's like to a classroom, and she doesn't ken you, you didn't ken her.
Yeah.
And for to tell people things like that, mine, she kept saying, who lives in Aberdeen? Who lives in that? Nobody would answer. You've got to answer her. She was dead quick. You know, my friend, my Uncle Jimmy, they all live in Aberdeen. I wouldn't answer.
But you didn't ever.
And she gets quite annoyed because she knows she's right.
Right.
She do that. And then she said, there's a Jack Cameron here. Who's Jack Cameron? And I wouldn't answer that either. I was frightened. There's somebody, there's Jack Cameron. Put the hand up. And I'm sitting saying, oh, what she's going to say is it's you, Ken.
I know it's you.
Because sometimes you say, I hope she doesn't come to me. You're going hoping for a message, but when you get one, you didn't want to know, Ken. Have you ever been to one of them?
Aye, we went, me and you.
Well,
The one up the
I
road.
was wondering if they're still open on a Sunday. If I've often got to go round because Lorraine doesn't come up now.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to ask Jamie likes to go. Mind he said his dad was dead. Did I tell you that, Ian? Aye. He was sitting at the back of me, Jamie. Right. And she come and she says to me, is your, what is it, and then earthly, no, or the what, what's the word?
Departed.
Eh? I forget what they say, and then earth or then no heaven, but kind.
Aye.
And Span, is your dad in the spirit world? He says yes. I said when you go, I said, your dad know this. I just said it. I laugh. Is your dad in spirit world? Yes. I was to say no. Because they've got somebody else, you know what I'm saying? Oh, that sounds like him, doesn't it? You'll need to refresh his memory, I'll tell you. And he never went back.
Casey got more messages for
Eh?
his dad. Casey got more messages for
He said, well, ask him in the morning if he wants to come, because he used to come with me. He used to sit at the back of me. And because it's really fascinating when they go to other people and start telling them things. That's what it's all about, really. But they sing a couple of, I'm not going to say hymns, but hymns, aye. And then you have a wee collection. You all put £1 in the collection, that's kind of a church thing, But it's nice round there. I must go. I've been going to go, but I knew with the COVID you couldn't go. But I think it's open now. But I'm just wondering if I used to get a leaflet with when Easter Road, right? I made an appointment. Mary, I forget her last name.
Mrs. Duffy?
Eh?
Was it Mrs. Duffy?
Aye, Mrs. Duffy.
Oh, you went to see Mrs. Duffy.
So I made the appointment for Mrs. Duffy. You paid money, you put money
They're
down.
not meant to say that.
Eh? And so Auntie Doris came with me. And so that was just a tour. She takes you in your house. Can you make appointments? You go to her house and you sit. And we went in, and so we sat down. No, we were a bit early, and she sent us away. She wouldn't let us. She says, "Oh, you're early. Just come back. Go away and come back at 3 o'clock." So we had to go away and come back at 3 o'clock. And then we went in, and it was my appointment. And put the money down. She's charming me. She got everything, and I got little or nothing. Eh? She got about Uncle Tom, Uncle Tommy that died. She got that kind of stuff. And what did I get? I got Uncle Tom says, "Tell Jack." Tell Jack is to get a car. Is to get a car, and I'll pay for it. That's what he said. And then she says to Auntie Doris, she says, "Oh, what a good-looking man he was." Well, so he was. My Uncle Tommy was nice-looking. What a good-looking man he is. And she done that. She says, "And he's giving you roses, Kim." And then before it was finished, she stood up and she was looking at the window, and she says, "What was the number that she lived in Craigmillar?" She says, I can't remember if it was 28 or something like that. She's looking at the window and she says, "He said 28 Craigmillar Castle Gardens, and that's where they lived." Now, nobody would know that.
Yeah.
And it was as though he was telling her so that she'd believe what he had been saying, and I couldn't go over this. I can't remember. It wasn't 28 Craigmillar Castle Gardens, but that was the address.
Yeah.
Just the bus stop, just in the first stop in Craigmillar, and you went up there. It was just the houses, and then there was trees. It's still like that today. And I couldn't get over that she'd said Craigmillar Castle Gardens. And you know, Auntie Doris got a lot of strength for that. Comfort.
So that was nice then.
She got a lot of comfort that he had come through.
Aye, he was still there.
It was as though I was meant to take her.
Aye.
And that was what it was like. And I'm going to say she quite enjoyed it. Well, she got a lot of messages. I got none really. But she's good too, Mrs. Duffy. Is there anything else? Is there any spirits you want to get the Ouija board out? They're dangerous. Eh?
No.
Yes.
Oh, aye, I wouldn't go on a Ouija board.
I would.
Summon demons.
Eh?
Summon demons.
And one time she said, "I'm going to do it with flowers this time, for 1 to 20, and pick a flower." And she come to me, "Pick a flower between 1 and 20.
No.
And I think I picked number 7. And she says, "Oh, that's a carnation. Oh, well, I like carnations." I can't remember what she said, but that was the flowers. So she was going to read about the flowers. How clever that woman was, but I think she's retired now, but she was brilliant. But she used to get annoyed if you didn't answer her right away, because she had it here, and she used to shout at them, because if she says, you know what it was, you had to answer her so that she got your voice, and just to point to you. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes I wouldn't say it was me at all, because she used to get rollicking. You want to come to the college one?
No, I remember you went away your holiday to Blackpool or something, and I was here because you taped the French Open for me. You and John went away, and I says, well, you said it was all right. I could sit and watch it, and then I was going to go home, and that was fine. And I was to come later on in the week and check
Aye,
the house.
right.
And when I came back, when I came in the door, one of the flowers out there was right in the middle of the. When I
Oh.
left it, I didn't touch it,
Aye.
but it wasn't there when and it was right out the earth and away over his
It's amazing, isn't it? Well, when my mother died, funny enough, we brought the coffin back to her house. A lot of people didn't do that, and a lot of people do. Ken. But my ma lived on her own in St Mary's Street, like, so these brothers and sisters were all alive at the time. Oh, I've got a photo. Oh, where the hell is it? I think I've got two photos. I had one where in her coffin, but I tore that up. Couldn't bear to look at it. But it's nice. It's the hearse at the bottom of my mother's stair. I'm looking at the window. I wouldn't come
Oh,
down.
you showed me that one.
Hey, where are they photos?
Oh, they're in one of the boxes.
Oh, we're all young. Kim, but I was only in my 30s when my ma died, and I was just about your age when my mother died, because she was only about 9, 10, and Lillian was only 3. But they're nice. I'll look them out. There's 2 photos actually, and your granddad's right young. Well, he's the same age as me, and Billy, and Tommy, and Frank, my brothers, and Dennis. All the laddies were all there, and they were all taking the wreaths, the wreaths out for the house doing to put in, because she was getting taken to St Pat's Church, right? But anyway, so my mother had a picture like that, but it was my ma liked Spain. In those days, nobody went to Spain, because my mother went. We were glad she got to Spain a couple of times. Oh, she loved it, didn't she? Bring me home fans and all that kind of thing. And she had a big photo like that with Spanish dancers on it. And I've got a nice tray in there, and you maybe take it if you see it. It's in my cupboard actually. I've got it my mother said Spanish dancers on it. You wouldn't get that tray anymore. And it was up there, and my ma loved it. And you know, when my ma got buried in Mount Vernon, and that was the end of that, it was shut the house, and nobody went near it again for about a year. Nobody went near my ma lived in her room. It was all furnished and everything. I think Frank and I went up once. Anyway, when we went in, that photo was on the floor.
Oh.
It was down on the floor when we went in, and you could still smell all the flowers. Oh, Ken, you went in, the smell of the flowers, because she had loads, big family. Ken, everybody bought flowers for her, Ken. And this was lying in the middle of the floor, and he says, there's been nobody here, because I had the key. There's nobody been here. I think James had a key, but he wouldn't touch the picture, Ken. It was doing. Anything else? Is there anything
I was
else coming
thinking
to
of the
mind?
the flowers that
I've had a
were
great afternoon day. I'm ready for my bed.
the flowers that were down the side of the pipe.
I can't. I've got to read what she's saying.
The flowers that were down the side of the pipe.
Oh,
And
when
then your-
Uncle Tam died.
Aye.
When Uncle Tam died, remember the flowers? And you
It's still there. I still have that flower. It was that's another thing. Guys are enjoying yourself. Better than a day
He's going
with
to
Sissy,
type all
isn't
this.
it? Anyway, my brother Tam, he had cancer too, and he suffered, he really did. But anyway, he was in the infirmary, and they were going to put him into the hospice. And the nurse came and she says, we're moving you tomorrow, Tam, you're going to the hospice. She says, they'll, what's the word, assess your treatment. What was the word? I can't remember what the word was now. Anyway, I minded Tam saying I'm not wanting it monitored, not even monitored, something like that. I don't want my medication monitored. I'm wanting rid of this, Ken, because he was in such terrible pain. Anyway, he went to the hospice, and so your father and I went in, and I think it was the Thursday we went in to see him, and the hospice are nice to them. They really are. I'm not going to say I enjoyed it, but you didn't get treatment in the Royal Infirmary. But when you go to these hospices, they get 1-to-1. They give you everything and anything. And he says, no, Doreen, we get papers. You didn't have to pay for them. You get juice, you didn't have to pay for anything in the hospice. Whereas in the hospital, you had to buy your paper and all that.
Oh, I paid for the telly, you know, we
Eh?
can't
Yeah.
pay for
I
the
had to
telly.
put £1 in the telly. Aye, was it £10 for so many out? Or no? He says, and the nurses were nice. They were always there, to see him. And she says, we'll be back in a few minutes' time to give you your jag. He says, oh, just kiss it now. He must have been in such pain. No, every 15 minutes, So anyway, I says, so we were going away. I says, right, I says, we'll come in on Friday, Tam, and see you. Aye, all right, Doreen, So he died on the Saturday morning. No, I think we were going to go in, but he had died. And James phoned me about 8 in the morning, I think it was, and says my dad had passed away. And I was through there, and there's flowers. I have flowers sticking in the, that cupboard through there. There's a gas pipe, and they're artificial, but they're sticking in there. And I was in there, and all of a sudden, they jumped too. They'd been stuck in there for long enough, and honest, they jumped too. And I mean, you couldn't make that up. The flowers, I could hear the rustle, and I looked, the things jumped too. And I heard the voice, and the voice it wasn't my voice, and it was a loud, but it seemed to be coming out of me. The voice was saying, Doreen, you can stop worrying, I'm all right now. And that was what I heard. Doreen, you can stop worrying, I'm all right now. And I thought, that's him telling me that he's all right now. Isn't that strange?
Yeah.
Did I tell you that before? Aye. Wasn't that what he said, eh?
Well, I can't quite remember.
Aye, that was
Tell me.
right. I'm all right now. And I phoned Nan, and I told Nan, I says to Nan, I says, I heard Tam's voice. I says, you mightn't. And she says, oh, that makes me feel a little better. And I says,
Yeah.
that's what he said, that I'm all right now, because he was in terrible pain, but he was out his pain now, so. Anyway, poor Tam. He was nice as well, eh?
Aye.
Well, that was true, the flowers jumped on the flare, and you couldn't make that in up either, could
Well,
you?
your flower moved as well.
Yeah.
Our flower moved as well. And
Our
I-
flower-
After Grandad
Aye,
died.
when Granddad died.
Aye.
It was
Wait,
like,
was it in here?
no, it was in my room. It was like stuck down the hook where my curtain was. And it was always like pointing down the way. And I woke up one morning and it was like that.
Was it? And there was one rose that was lying on the flare one morning when I come, and I says, that flower wasn't there. An artificial one, like.
Uh-huh.
And I says, that wasn't, I mean, I would have saw it, but I says, that wasn't there. It's funny. Well, the spirits, is there any, nobody knows, what I'm saying? But I ken that the spiritualists that tell you things, where does it come from? And sometimes they go in a bit of a trance, these people, because you've seen them saying,